Всем привет, друзья! Мы продолжаем проходить игру Vampyr. В прошлой серии я пытался найти ожерелье, которое потерял Сеймур Фишберн, но я его так и не нашел. Потом я отправился вроде как просмотреть восклицательные знаки. Вот здесь полный пиздец, который пойду потом. Пока сходим на эти два. Посмотрим, что там произошло. О, здрасте. Берега Нижней Темзы. Двадцать четыре. Жизель Пакстон? Стоп. Да ладно. Лоти превратилась, и она стала охотником за вампиром. За вампирами. Пиздец. Это все из-за того, что, блядь, я ему дал шанс, что ли? Доверился ему. Я в ахуе. А почему с ним даже нельзя поговорить? Блин, как-то обидно мне, что все так выходит. Я все решения, которые здесь принимаю, они вообще неправильные какие-то. Вау. Прям печально все это. Проход закрыли. Но я помню, пройти можно с той стороны еще. Сильные тут ребята. Блин. Ну уровни у них не маленькие.
What on earth happened here?
Пиздец вообще. Вау. Не нужно было ему, что ли, доверять? Походу. Бля, вот это лошара, а. Слышишь, придурок? Бля, что-то я вообще расстроен. До конца проходить прям неохота уже. А что я теперь могу ключом этим открыть, не пойму. Но это уже проход к скалям. К их убежищу. А, мне кажется, я знаю, от какого ящика этот ключ был. Сейчас, я вспомнил.
It's locked.
А это все равно заперта. Ладно. Ну вообще, короче, отвратительные решения принимаю. Вообще все плохо. С этим все плохо. Где она, блядь? Э, С этой тоже все плохо. Что я делаю не так? Почему все умирают? Либо становятся какими-то конченными. Нельзя, что ли, спасти всех? Никак. Надо вернуться в больницу и полечить ребят этих всех. Блядь. Каким-то образом ожерелье найти надо. Ну, можно было бы хотя бы телепортироваться, но, блин, оббегать все это.
It's locked, all right.
Задания дополнительные никакие больше не могу сдать там. А, как раз пока далеко не убежал. Вернуть родственнику, продать кому-то другому. Да, родственнику верну. Почему не продавать?
Good evening, Miss Gillingham. May I come in?
Of course, of course.
Какая-то подгрузка странная. Такое ощущение, что мне сейчас игра вылетит нахрен.
So, Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here? We haven't talked in quite some time.
I found this watch. It was a gift from you to your boy, wasn't it? I think it should return to you now.
Oh, I remember. Yes, I recall the day I offered Jack this watch. Oh, it was such a beautiful day. Thank you, sir.
Trinkets and possessions help us remember our past. Promise me you'll not lose it.
I would never lose anything that belonged to Jack. Why don't you take this? Dr. Tippett's? Please, for your charity.
Окей.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
I've never heard that name before, I'm afraid.
Понял.
Enid, have you really no idea what happened to your son?
Там за окном
No idea at all.
почки
I've
ходят.
not seen Jack for so long. I lose track of time. Has something bad happened to him?
Jack takes good care of you, Miss Gillingham.
He does indeed. My Jack is the best son a mother could ask for.
Ну, не хотел я говорить, что он мертв.
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham.
И так все плохо. У него с головой все плохо. И в принципе все плохо.
It's locked, all right.
Ну, как я понял, все эти закрытые сундуки и двери, они открываются тогда, когда я пожираю, типа, персонажа. Так что в этом прохождении 750 опыта. Этого не будет.
Good evening, young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reid.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
I heard he had a scam of his own. A cult or something.
Классно.
Goodbye.
А ты кто? А, точно.
Good evening, sir. I'm glad to see you safe.
I am not safe. I should never have come back here. My life is in danger. I know it.
You're much safer here than in that contaminated area.
Bullets kill people quicker than diseases and epidemics, Dr. Reid.
What can you tell me about this district?
The East End Docks only knows one rule. Dog eat dog, and blood calls for blood. The gang will have their revenge on me one way or another.
What can you tell me about the locals?
Most people would say that Sean Hampton and Tom Watts are good men who try to sort things out. But for me, the real boss around there was my best friend, Jack Gillingham.
Jack Gillingham, you say?
Everyone round there knew Jack. He was a rock. A mountain even. He feared nothing.
Your friend Jack has something to do with you fleeing to the contaminated area where I found you. I want to know more.
Jack is dead. That's all you need to know. Dead because of me. So much violence. So much sorrow. All of that because I refused to be insulted again.
The docks are being consumed by violence. Any war you may have started was already brewing underneath the surface, just waiting for a spark to ignite it.
Perhaps you're right. The district was doomed before I was born. But I cannot stop myself thinking that Jack died for me.
Why do you say that?
After I killed that gang member, the Wet Boot Boy suspected Jack. And being loyal and all, he did not refute the accusation.
Ясно.
The death of your friend has affected you deeply, hasn't it?
Jack Gillingham was the real deal. He believed we could change the world if we were united and focused enough. And he brought out the best in each of us.
You're right. He died to save you. That alone gives me an idea of the kind of man he was.
He was the bravest. And no one dares to say openly that he got killed by those bastards.
Your friend's plan was audacious, if not reckless. No one stands up by themselves to a gang like the Wet Boot Boys.
How dare you say that? You never met him.
You are not going to spend the rest of your life hiding, Rodney. What are you planning to do?
Honestly, I have no idea. How am I supposed to live while so many have suffered because of me?
Only you can answer that question. But one thing is certain. Since you owe Jack your life, I think it's fair to live it in a way that would make him proud.
That's the kind of thing Jack could have said, Dr. Reed. Thank you for that. I believe you're a good guy too.
Сейчас поспим одну ночь, он уже будет, блядь, скалем или охотником за
Do you
вампирами.
have recent news of Shaunhampton's shelter?
No. I try to stay away from shelters and obvious places. Who knows who may be spying and trying to spot me there?
Goodbye, Mr. Grader. Take care.
Кого там раздирает на части? Господи, сумасшедшие. Да иди в жопу, что мне вылетает он постоянно. Ай. Не знаю, это ожерелье вообще. Так я и не понял, где ожерелье, если честно. Вообще.
Good evening, young man.
There's no need.
Show me what you have.
Господи. Правильно иду хотя бы. Хижина Руфуса Кингсбери. А почему это отдельная локация, блядь, такая? Это что-то странное.
This is a slaughterhouse.
Ебать. От Сеймера и его любимой матери
From
Стеллы.
Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Fishburne, that sneaky bastard. It's locked. Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
You deserve no pity. No pity at all.
Did I ask for any? No. So piss off before I get really annoyed.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times, that's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
Пиздец
You
просто.
feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
Так она знает
My
об этом?
son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead?
Я вообще в ахуе.
She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
Что это за ситуация такая странная в игре?
I don't believe death is the appropriate sentence for murder. Not in a civilized society. But the last word has to remain with the law.
There is no law around here. No justice to be found. In these parts, revenge is the only answer.
Блять. Не то выбрал. Fuck.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
И как можно не убивать их? Я не пойму. Так, хочу с ним поговорить.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reid. Just grow eyes in the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
It's locked.
What can I do for you, Dr. Reid?
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Да какие демоны, он просто ебанутый. На всю голову.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Ой, господи.
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
А кто бы не
I
стыдился?
can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his
Да,
death.
повесить слишком легко. Просто быстро. Вон да мучить, блядь. За каждого убитого.
I'm convinced you raised Seymour the best you could. You're not responsible for what he became.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
Science has only just begun to investigate the mysteries of the human mind. Currently, we have more assumptions than fact.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
Do you have any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
I heard you can't go there anymore unless you share his faith. A bit queer, don't you think?
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
Так, ну все, возвращаемся в больничку. Раздаем всем лекарства. Спим одну ночь. И идем вот на сюжетное задание. Как бы правильно пройти еще? Блин, я прям готов пройти игру еще раз, 100%. Лишь бы поубивать всех людей, которые меня очень сильно бесят. Ну и то, что бесит, они заслужили смерти. Пиздец какой-то. Блять. Я не могу телепортировать. Все. Да, ничего не могу использовать. Ладно. Да хорош мне бить. Еще? А где крикнули? Странно. Ого. 8 уровень. Это что, шутка? Ой, у меня выносливости не было. Да, я уже понял. Кто там болеет? Стоп. Бля, походу не здесь болеют люди. Что-то... Они болеют в Уайтчепеле. Прекрасно. Вот это я дурак. Ну ладно. Что ты поделаешь? Я все равно собирался заглянуть в Уайтчепел рано или поздно, так что вот и повод появился. Точнее, повод уже был давно. Появилось время у меня сходить туда. Серьезно? Для эти, что стоят, смотрят. Нормально все, ребята, тут убиваю ваших людей.
Filthy murdering bastard!
Слабенько. Блять, правильно иду? Да. Черт.
Morbid.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words, and
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my...
have you recent news?
Я думал, что он не подсвечивается. Я же ему уже давал лекарства. Я уж подумал, что у меня его нету.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Восстановление. Камелия 5000. Почему так много? Потому что она не разговаривает, типа.
You are blinded by your...
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Don't you fear getting sick yourself,
faith gives me all I need, my son. If I must fall, then so be it.
Интересно, он возьмет?
No doubt your faith will prevail, but let me give you some extra protection against the devil's work. Medicine.
Blessed be your generosity, my son.
Ясно.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
If you propagate the devil's work, you'll perish by the devil's work. Such is the law of the Lord.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Блять, совсем конченый, вообще слов нет других.
You again? What do you want this time?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday, I think. She didn't recognize me. People say she's lost it. It's a sad story.
Я не знал, что гипноз так подействует.
Can I
Ёб
offer you
Макарёка.
my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Do you need help, sir?
To be honest, I'd prefer you take a look at my stuff. I'd rather be rich and sick than the contrary.
Ну и дурак.
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally, but charity usually comes at a price. Human nature being what it is.
Не надо.
Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It appears those who dare to get health care from that bitch are never seen again. Something fishy going on there, for sure.
Бич, зачем так жестоко, грубо, блядь?
Right then. Sure.
Тут что-то есть полезное, но не помню, что именно мне нужно, так что потом. Кому я еще не дал лекарства? Ну, с этим все ясно. Надо ее теперь найти. Лоретта Свонбора. Я не совсем помню, как до кого добираться. А, вот она.
When science fails you.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against a second opinion, Dr. Reed.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
Мне кажется, ее муж отъедет быстрее, чем я пойму, как до него добраться, как к нему в дом зайти. Ой. Случайно. А, блядь. Это одно из убежищ, в которых он перемещается с экрана загрузки. Хотя я не помню какое-то еще убежище, которое так заходит. Даже в последнем районе вроде больше такого нету. Так, ну... Я боюсь, что в случае, если я прокачаюсь и сохранюсь, у меня вылетит игра. Поэтому на этом закончим. Продолжим в следующей серии. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь, а главное комментируйте, чтобы я мог с вами общаться. До скорых встреч!